So how did you come about Angel? Was it just like your stock standard audition from your agent? You didn't know anything about it, or were you a Buffy fan before?
No, I knew. I was actually really good friends with Boreanaz at the time, David Boreanaz, who played Angel.
Oh, all right.
And so I knew David was a very good friend of mine, and we were hanging out and stuff like that. And I knew that he had gotten his own show.
Gotcha.
It hadn't happened yet, but he had just left, and he had gotten his own show. And so I again will bring it back to Mark Blucas. I tested against Mark Blucas for Riley, which the whole story gets very incestual because So I tested against Mark Blucas. He got Riley. I didn't. Riley was supposed to be the replacement for Angel. You know what I mean? Like that's who Sarah Michelle Gellar would end up, really, really liking and all this other kind of stuff. And he was supposed to be the tough guy and all this other kind of stuff. And I thought Mark did such a great job with that, but I didn't get the role. So I didn't tell David about this. And me and David were really good friends at the time, but I ended up, Josh said, okay, so David Greenwalt, I should say, David Greenwalt, who was also, co-producer and co-writer and co-creator of Angel, brought me in to play Lindsay McDonald.
Gotcha.
And it was just supposed to be a one-off type thing. And he ended up making it 5 seasons, this character. I did the pilot. That was it. I felt like, honestly, the consolation prize.
Yeah.
For not getting the big role that everybody, grew to love as Riley on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I had no idea. And so I did one episode. Then they called me back like 4 or 5 weeks later. They called me back and said, can you come back in and play this role? I was like, yeah, that's fine. It's, all this other stuff. And then...
That just kept going for 5 years of your life. Like, hey, can you come back in and do this role?
It just kept going, and I quit. Yeah, no, it's not even that. They cut off my hand, and they cut off my right hand. Yeah, easy, man. You know me. I was around you during that time. You know how much I hated that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you cut off your right hand, there's not a lot of things you can do. When you're used to your right hand.
Yeah, it limits you a lot. It limits you a lot in television. Yeah.
But by the way, you can't eat.
No.
I'm used to eat with my right, you know what I mean? Like even a fork. So just saying.
You had to go to lunch every day eating with your left hand because they, wardrobe and makeup probably didn't want to fuck with that
exactly,
hand.
Man, because it was because they put on a plastic glove. This is gonna really good. They put on a plastic glove, and then they put plaster on, and then they painted it, and then they put another plastic glove. They painted it, so it was 45 minutes in the chair.
Yeah,
putting this glove on, so they can't take it off during lunch because lunch is either 30 minutes or an hour.
So you're stuck with that.
I know where you're going with this.
Look, there's a lot of downtime in the trailer, and if you don't have your right hand. It
exactly,
it is.
When you only have 30 minutes, thank you. But when you only have 30 minutes and there's only 45, and it takes 45 minutes to put back on, you can't do it.
Yeah.
No. So I had like a fake hand, and I looked over at Tim Minear, and Tim Minear is an unbelievable writer. He wrote really great stuff for me. But I looked at him and I said, "What are you doing?" He'll remember this story. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, and I would not be killed. I would not be killed. Like other people died. But my manager at the time, still my manager today, would be like, "Does he die?" And they go, "Yeah, he dies." And he goes, "And he's not showing up because I was reoccurring."
Right.
So he's not showing up because I wasn't going to show up and just let you kill me when I had no fake hand. And by the way, let me explain. Let me reiterate the fact that I'm on a show with superheroes, with vampires and people that can fly around and all this other stuff. And I'm a lawyer with one hand. You know what I mean? I was on the coolest show in the world, and everybody's like, "Man, you were on the coolest show in the world." But you have to understand the character that I was playing was not having any fun whatsoever.
No, he was a handless lawyer, is who he was.
Yeah, exactly, man. And the downtime was horrible. And so Ross, stop. I know where you're going. Stop, dude. You're
No,
gonna get me
no.
into something.
I've stopped with
All right.
that. I've
known Ross for too long. I've known this cat for too long. I know where he's trying to take me.
I
The
picture
fact
you
is-
walking around just miserable with his no hands.
Yeah.
Not really wanting to talk to people. Everybody else is chipper as fuck because they got awesome rolls.
And it would have been cool if it was the fist, because I could have punched somebody. If it wasn't, the hand was sticking like straight out, like a horrible. It was just, you know,
Like a scarecrow. Yeah, like a scarecrow
exactly,
hand.
man.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a good karate chop because it was placed wrong. You know what I mean? And it wasn't in a position where I could slap anybody because of the position. It was just like, look at me, I'm the asshole of the bunch.
Yeah.
And so, so the fact is that, you know, I just got done and I looked at Tim Minear and I said, hey man, I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm writing the next episode. And I was like, awesome. I go, how is it? He goes, it's great. And I looked at him and I literally like did the whole throat cut thing. And I said, fucking kill me.
Really?
And he laughed and he goes, and yeah, he laughed and he goes, no way. Are you serious? And I go, Tim, fucking kill me.
Wow.
I'm like, I was so done with the hand. I was so done of not being a superhero on a superhero show, and literally. And so I guess he took that somewhere. I don't know if it was him or not, but anyway, I think David Greenwald got a hold of it. I know Josh did, and they ended up giving me they gave me my hand back. They gave me an evil hand, and yeah, which was awesome, which was great. And the worst thing about that is that the day we got it. No, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway,
fire away.
I got my hand back. It's just me and David have been. Nah, I can't talk about Boreanaz, man, because I don't really talk to him anymore. But it was all right. So the day I got my hand back. I love you, Ross. God, we've been friends for too long, dude. You know exactly. All right, here's the thing, man. The day I got my hand back, we walked in, and I get my hand back from a guy, and there was a bunch of people. There was a lot of people. There was a lot of bodies and like, you know, CGI stuff and all that kind of stuff. But there was a couple of amputees in there and stuff like that, and you know. And I was getting my hand back, and me and David were so hungover from the night before, and we had a whole fight scene and all this other kind of stuff. So we were literally like, it was so bad. So I walked in, and if you ever watch that scene, me and David were really, really hungover, and you know, he's gonna get pissed at me. He's a Navy SEAL now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's on the Navy SEAL show and on CBS right now.
Yeah, whatever, dude. And so we were really hungover. I got my hand back. I got the whole thing, and all of a sudden I had a hand, and then I got a movie, and I had to leave. And it was a really weird thing, man. It was a thing that I did. So I left the show. I really can't talk about that but I left the show, and then I went to but I was still friends with David, and and me and David were talking. I was in New York. I really wanted to come back. I thought it would be so great to come back. And I was in New York, and I was doing a film called Taxi with Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, yeah.
And you know, just unbelievable, man. And those guys, we were having such a good time. And Joss Whedon called me in my hotel room and said, "Do you want to come back?" And I said, "Are you kidding me, man? I would love to come back." It's Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is one of the most brilliant people in television that's ever hit the television scene.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. And he said, do you want to come back? I said, so we've got a role. We want to bring your role back and all this other stuff. And I said, I would love it. And I said, Josh, and as humble as I could, I said, man, I would love to come back, and I'm coming back no matter what. If you're asking me, I'm coming back because I love you. But is there any way I couldn't get beat up anymore? Because I got beat up by every girl on the show, literally every girl on the show. And he said, yes. He goes, it's not going to be like that. You just trust me. I said, do you trust me? I said, yeah. So I came back. First scene up, my mom flies into town. David Boreanaz is directing. I'm in a strip joint with Spike, played by my good friend James Marsters.
Yep.
And he's kicking the crap out of me. And I just go, I look at Josh and I go, man, seriously? And he, because I'm getting beat up again. And he goes, trust me. And I didn't know what the tattoos were for. He wouldn't tell me. I had all these tattoos on me, and he wouldn't tell me what it was for. And I ended up getting the fight Angel, and ended up losing that fight, but pretty much won. And it was a cool gig, man. And once again, you know, there's a couple of people I can attribute my life to in this industry, and one of them is by far Joss Whedon, and he saved my life again. So he's a really good guy.
Yeah.